Now, you gotta make sure if you're ready, but you're not ready, if you wanna get ready, and even if you think you're ready, you're not ready. Ladies and gents, man, it's your boy Funkadelic Jones back in the building, man. Welcome to the Ghetto Wealthy Podcast. Hey, y'all already know me, man. I'm on the air all the time doing what I do, big things, man. You gotta get funky with it all the time, man. But do me a favor. Make sure you guys follow me on all my social media platforms. Instagram, Facebook, was it X, formerly known as Twitter, TikTok. You know what I mean? You can follow me at Funkadelic Jones. You can also follow my IG page for the podcast at Ghetto Wealthy as well. So, and make sure you guys are listening to me on your way to work. You know what I mean? I'm on Apple Podcasts, I'm on Spotify, iHeartRadio. Your boy's everywhere. He doing big things though. Now, but let's get down to business. Because when I cut this camera on, I said, what do I want to talk to y'all about? What do I want to discuss with y'all today? I had a couple of things in mind, but based on what I seen Friday, I need to talk about it. Now, mind you, I was trying to be respectful, but I said to myself, it needs to be discussed. Let me fill y'all in on the loop. You know, let me fill y'all in on the loop of what I'm talking about here. For those that don't know, my uncle finally got laid to rest on Friday. You know what I mean? He was battling a lot of sickness, a lot of illness, but he finally got laid to rest on Friday. You know what I mean? And I hate to see a brother go through those type of things, man. And it was good to see that, you know, his soul was finally set free and he can rest easy now. So I'm happy about that. But everything that just led up to the funeral, it was just a debacle. Normally I keep it family friendly oriented in the sense I try not to cuss as much, but I'm gonna just go ahead and say it all bucks. Everything that led up to the funeral was a complete train wreck and a shit show. Real talk. I'm gonna say it, man. Now, it's no secret that the family, you know what I mean? Well, I'm gonna go ahead and break it down. His wife, who's not technically his wife, but she played the role as his wife, it's no secret that the family, us and her, I don't even want to say I don't like her, because, you know, I try to stay, you know what I mean, I try to stay away from. But has she pissed the family off? Multiple times. Do the family not like her? They do not like her ass at all. Now, I want to say this. The only thing that I asked for was to send my uncle off. Let him rest easy. I said, do right by the family just one time. Mind you, she's been around for a while. And she has not managed to do anything great for the family. She's pissed the family off multiple times. This was your one chance to do right by the family. And you still chose to mess things up. Now, I'm going to tell y'all like this, right? This may be a little hard to hear, but my uncle was in the hospital for almost a month, right? Almost a month. They say he passed away back in July, but he made some type of comeback. But he was still he was just sitting he basically was in a vegetable state for a long time. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, I was like, look, why? Why are you doing this to this man, right? Why are you doing this to him? You dig what I'm saying? Why are you doing this to him? And like, so his wife had all the executive power to pull the plug to say, just go ahead and let him go and set him free. Can you imagine her dragging out Dragging this man, just having this man sitting there when you know it's time to go. I'm sure doctors have told her, ma'am, it's time. Dragging him in and out of surgeries. He not passing any tests. He might pass one or two, but he wasn't showing any sign of recovering. But yet she had that man just still sitting there. But it was her call for them to pull the plug and let him and set his soul free. It took her a month, damn near, almost a month, to say, you know what? Okay. You know, it took a little longer than expected, but I was happy that decision finally came, it came to fruition because it had to be done. I know, listen, guys, I know nobody wants to lose their loved ones. I understand. You know what I mean? I can imagine how my grandmother felt. I can understand. She got to bury her son. I can imagine how my little cousin felt. My little cousin she about to turn 18 this year. She's 17. She lost her father. Before you got to think about it. She about to go off to college. She about to go to prom. Before she start driving. You want your parents dead. Those are significant moments in life. And her dad's not going to be there. So that's hard. I can understand, that's going to be hard for her. I get it. And I understand. You know what I mean? As her cousin, she don't have brothers. But I still like my little sister, even though we cousins. But if you look at what led up to the funeral, and even what happened at the funeral, all I asked was her to do right by the family and do right by the funeral. Let me tell you how this monstrosity of a funeral happened. Right? So mind you, him and his wife, they had like a tailgating ticket business and stuff like that. Okay, great, cool. They wanted me to take over. I wasn't about to take over nothing. Because I'm going to be real with you. If they wanted me to take over that business, she was getting, he can step down, do what you do. But working with her, nah. Everybody was going to have to retire. That's the only way I was going to take that business. Is everybody was going to retire. I don't want to hear nobody. I don't want to see nobody showing up. No, everybody's going to retire. That was the only way I was going to take that business. If I had to work with her, the answer was no. Simple as that. But here was the problem with this monstrosity of a funeral. Mind you, so once they called it, right? So my uncle died on the 3rd. What was it, like 2 weeks ago? On September 3rd, right before Labor Day. That was on Sunday. They finally made the executive decision and set his soul free. Mind you, she didn't want no help with the funeral. She didn't want no help. So everybody was like, okay. Sat back. The funeral was on Friday. It was last week. Funeral was on Friday. Do you know what day I found out about the funeral? Tuesday. You literally telling us 3 days before the funeral that the funeral was on Friday. Now, mind you, me, I'm a professional guy. I am. I'm a professional person. I was waiting to find out the date so I can give my boss, mind you, I just started a new job. I'm trying to give my boss a professional, hey, I gotta go. I just had a death in the family. Can I step away and go to the funeral? I was trying to do that the more respectful way. But she waited 3 days to tell us that the funeral was gonna be on Friday. Now I gotta go to my boss, and it looks unprofessional, like I'm just coming up like a funeral just happened out the blue. Hey man, I gotta go to my uncle's funeral. When's the funeral? Friday. They probably in mind like, you just now figured fine. Like, how long you known about this funeral? That looks unprofessional. I don't get down like that. You know what I mean? I don't. I got the pamphlet in the car because they told me to bring back the pamphlet. I'm gonna touch on that pamphlet obituary in a minute though. I'm gonna touch on that. But I had to find out 3 days before the funeral. People couldn't take off. People couldn't just change. I barely got off. You know what I mean? I'm glad they was understanding. But people couldn't just, I just changed their schedule up in 3 days to go to a funeral. Maybe the immediate family, but what if other people like, damn, I gotta work. If you had gave me a week, if you had told me a week prior, I could have probably been okay. I gotta go to a funeral on Friday. She waited 3 days. Now let's go ahead. Let's go ahead. Let's cut that. Let's cut that. I put that very mildly. I was already upset about that. Let's go ahead and fast forward to the funeral. This had to be. And first of all, I just want to say this. I want to apologize to my cousin for what she had to witness. I want to apologize to my grandmother for what she had to witness. But what I'm about to say is going to be real. That was a train wreck of a funeral. That was a shit show of a funeral. If you had, guys, viewers, if you guys were there, you can tell that funeral was put together the last minute. Because nothing was right. Now, mind you, the funeral wasn't even about him. The funeral was about the business. I said, for once, can we just put the business aside and let his soul rest easy? I'm talking about me, my sister, we walk up in there. You know what I mean? We see his wife, we see my little cousin, they gotta view the body first. That's his family. So, they gotta view the body first. And then when we finally get in, we sit down, after we viewed him, it's like, damn, man, it hit me a little bit. Of course I wanted to cry, man. That's fine. I don't like seeing death. I don't. So, we just sitting there, I'm like, dang, man. We went to go sit down, man, before the funeral started. Me and my sister, being around, family members and stuff like that. And then they charging up phones. They bringing ring lights to the funeral. Like, how y'all gonna do my uncle like this? Y'all bringing ring lights, charging the phone, people setting up on the corners. His wife the whole time was just recording. You record the whole funeral just to put it online for your fans and your customers. Your business? You put that shit online? Why you do that? This supposed to be an intimate situation for the family. You got everybody post up. All right, go over there. Got the ring. Just like right now. Y'all see how a young man, I'm recording my phone sits on my ring light. Mind you, my ring light is broke. But I still use it when I record my podcasts. It's both of them. This how they was at the funeral. Literally, everybody was setting up, everybody was on a knee, everybody was making sure the angles was good. I said, what in the hell is this? What is this? Y'all putting this on the internet for the whole world to see? I'm sorry, for all the customers to see? I can't, man. She did my uncle wrong. Now let's talk about the pamphlet. Let's talk about the obituary. You can tell that obituary right there was drawn up last minute. Last minute. I'm just gonna say this before I continue. I know my uncle probably was rolling in his grave. After what he had to, and he seen what we had to see, he probably rolling in his grave right now. Basically she outcast us. We was just there because we was family. But she didn't want us there. Let's talk about the pamphlet. Let's talk about it. Now, granted, I would show you, I would kind of give y'all a glimpse, but I left the pamphlet in the car because I need it for work. But I'm going to just talk about it a little bit, man. It drives me crazy to think about this. You had a whole pamphlet. You got pictures and everything. It wasn't no baby pictures in there. It wasn't even no pictures of him and his mama in there, my grandmother. It was no pictures. You know what you saw in there? Him, his wife, and the business. That's literally all you saw. Him, his wife, and the business. I'm sitting there thinking to myself, now mind y'all, I heard her cuss get a little snippy. My grandma cuss my grandmother out. You know what I mean? See, this is why we already don't like her that much anyway. I'm going to say it. I'm going to be real on this show. But you're going to sit right here with a straight face. I'm looking at these pictures. I'm just looking like, this is mostly you and him. I said, this was her show. I'm going to be real with y'all. She basically said, F the family. I'm doing this my way. F y'all. Which was wild. Now, mind y'all seen how I started the show? With all that confusion talk that I was talking about? That was how the pastor was talking. I was so confused on what the hell he was talking. He literally was repeating. First of all, I had my brother beside me. Like, he literally was repeating the same thing. If you're going to get ready, you need to be ready. And if you're not ready, and you think you're ready, you won't be ready. Now, I can understand if you was trying to be deep, but brother, you ain't even say nothing. You just kept repeating the same line over and over again. Maybe I may not be the most church-going person, but even still, I understood that. And I was like, brother, you ain't saying nothing. I can see that whole line was even if you think you're ready in life, you never know. You're never always going to be ready. Even if you could be the most prepared person in life, you still may not be prepared for what's going to happen. You see how I just said that? That sounds a little bit more better. Even if you think you're ready in life, and you may be super prepared in life, you're always never going to be prepared with what life, you're never always going to be ready for what life throws at you. I'm freestyling it, but you see how y'all understand that compared to, and when you're ready, you think you're ready, and you're going to be ready, and even if you're ready, you're not going to be ready. Everybody's like, what? First of all, I'm going to go ahead and smooth off that because I ain't going to talk about the man of God. He a pastor. I ain't going to question his credentials. That's not my job. You know what I mean? I know he probably took the oath and put his hand on the Bible. I know that. I ain't going to talk about that because I'll be wrong. But let's get back into this pamphlet, this obituary. First of all, she threw her kids in there and made it seem like he was his kids. Man, we was sitting there reading the pamphlet. They said he got 5 kids. First of all, he only got 1. He only got 1 child. It's another one, but he thought that was his kid. When he found out it wasn't, he just still looked out for it. But he has 1 child. We reading the obituary, all you hear is just 5 kids. We was like, where these other kids come from? So she threw her kids in there to make it seem like, I was like, what in the hell is going on here? My uncle didn't deserve this. Not like this. First of all, that obituary only talked about his business. I said it, all my aunts said it, all my other family members, they was like, man, they sure always talking about the business a lot. Ain't talking about nothing about him. It was just the business. It was just the business. And then on top of that, you had 1 family member. You had 1 family member. You know how at funerals people go up there and speak? You know, like they go out and speak and talk about good memories of the person and stuff like that. You had 1 family member go up there and speak. Now, mind you, I should have got up and just said something. Since all her people was just getting up, I should have got up and said something. You feel what I'm saying? I should have just got up. I was thinking about it. I was like, hold on for a second, man. I was like, hold on for a second. I said, y'all not gonna sit here and do this man like this. Y'all not gonna just be bringing up a bunch of random people or a bunch of his business partners and people that been to his business shows and stuff like that. He got all this family sitting in here. We know him best. And you bringing up all his business partners? We know this man. Y'all gotta realize this dude taught me how to play video games. You know what I'm saying? They were like, him and my aunts was mad because they was aunts and uncles at 10 to 12 years old. You dig what I'm saying? I know this man personally. But you want to bring up these business partners, people that talk about their business? You had one family member get up. One. No one talked about, like, you got to realize that one family member talked about his mother because, again, he's part of the family. But you got all these business people. Ain't nobody talking about his mama. None of that. Ain't nobody talking about his daughter. Ain't nobody show his daughter no love, no nothing. Everybody was just talking about the business. Everybody was talking about how much of a humanitarian. They made him seem like he was a humanitarian of the year. Taking kids to splash parks. You know, cooking hot dogs and wings at the church. That's all they was talking about. They said, forget the family. We're going to talk about the business. Matter of fact, you had one dude show up to the funeral. He said, I knew his wife before she knew him. I was like, wait a minute. He was like, she helped me with my business before she knew him. I was like, wait a minute. In my mind, I was like, you brought your ex to the funeral? You brought your ex to the funeral? I said, oh, this shit messy as hell. I said, wait a minute, he knew you prior? I was like, what the No one showed his daughter no love. All these people was talking about was the business. That rubbed me the wrong way. I said, this how y'all gonna do my uncle, man? Y'all just talking about this business. And then all the deacons and all them was talking about something, donate to the family. We don't like her. Why we don't? First of all, you gotta realize, when my uncle gone now, we're done with her and that business. We're done. We're not supporting that business. We're not interacting with that business. We're not showing up to those businesses. That has nothing to do with us. And y'all talking about some donate to the business. Is this a funeral, a church, or what? Y'all trying to get collections and donations? What is this, a GoFundMe for the business? What is going on around here? This funeral was a train wreck from start to finish. That's why when he went in the ground, I said to myself, my uncle is finally laid to rest. His soul can finally be at ease. Because after the monstrosity that I didn't see last week, I said to myself, there's no way in hell. It's no way in hell. She knew she was wrong for that. And I knew she didn't want our help for a reason. She didn't want our help for a reason. Because she wanted to make it about her. And I'll be honest with you, she did a damn good job at making it about her. She basically said, forget the family. We don't give a damn. She don't give a damn about the family. This is about her and the business. And that's what she made it about. Now, I don't speak ill of people. But one thing about me is I don't tolerate disrespect either. That right there was disrespectful. It was. It was disrespectful. So with that being said, I'm glad this is over. I'm glad his soul is resting easy. I'm glad, like, for my family and her sake, we're parting ways. Because she done already pissed off a few people. You know what I mean? Cussed out my grandmother. My grandmother's sister wanted to put hands on her. Not physically, but, you know, just, well, she might have. I don't know, but, you know what I mean? My grandmother's sister, like 70s, still ready to get active. But the point is, that's not how you had supposed to have sent that man off like that. In no way, shape, or form. I'm talking about this turned into a whole production. I was, in my mind, I was like, put the business aside for an hour. Put the business to the side for an hour. But no, she want to still make it about her and the business. You had all his little business partners going up there. Like, I ain't gonna front, they low-key kind of disrespected they because we got, you know how people got family names? He was like, look, we don't know him by that. We know him by this. We was like, okay. But you gotta realize, we all family. Like, we know him. This is what we call him. Don't go up there and tell him all some, y'all, we don't know him like, we don't know him by that. We don't call him that. We call him this. Wait a minute, chief. Wait a minute, boss man. You gotta realize, we family. You know what I mean? Just like I got a family name, he had a family name. Most people don't call me, like most people in my family don't call me by my government name. They call me by my family name. You feel what I'm saying? Does that make logic? That makes logical sense. Everybody got a family name. You know what I mean? They might call you fathead. They might call you crooked elbow. You know, that's just a family name. They come in crooked elbow. Like it's a family name. I'm just saying. You know what I mean? Somebody might call you little Scar, big Scar. You know what I mean? Scar neck. You know what I mean? I don't know. You know how family names be all over the place. They might call you by your middle name. People don't call, my family call me by my government name. I got a family name. My sister has a family name. Most of us have family names. My family name and my government name don't even correlate with each other. They sound similar, but they don't correlate with each other. But the point is, you didn't have to do my uncle that way. That shit show of that train wreck of atrocity of a goddamn funeral. They knew I was gonna come on here and say something. I was gonna be respectful. But I feel like I said, you know what? I'm gonna have to say it. I'm gonna have to say something about this. All I'm gonna say is this, man. Before I get off the air, I just want to say this. To my uncle, man, I love you. You can rest in peace now. Your soul is at ease. You're set free, my brother. You know what I mean? You're going up in the clouds, you're going up into heaven. You can, you and your dad can have good conversations. You and the rest of the family, they can have good conversations. The Steelers still ain't going to the Super Bowl. I don't care what you say. It was our time of the year, man. Like, football season, you would think me and him is like, we executive in the front office. Steelers still ain't going to no Super Bowl. Yep, I'ma say it right here, right now. But, with that being said, when you think you're ready, you're gonna be ready. And when you need to be ready, even if you're ready, you're not gonna be ready. It's your man, Funkadelic Jones, signing out, y'all. I'm gone. Ooh-wee.